Should have one.
Where's your hand warmer to put over your nose?
Where's my nose warmer?
Even though the bag explicitly says, hey, don't put this on your face.
Do not put on your face.
Where's that?
I don't know. I haven't busted those out this year. I gotta find them. They're in some cabinet somewhere.
Do me a solid.
Yeah.
And when you talk to Teresa, ask her about the Music City Miracle at some point to soften the blow for Titans fans. That was a special day. That was a special day to be a Titans fan, man. The kids in the classroom, they were all lit up that Monday.
They want to live in better days.
Yeah, let them relive that.
I thought the new Music City Miracle was getting the #1 pick.
Is that a miracle?
I mean, the Patriots went and fumbled the...
Did they fumble it?
Yeah.
Do you think that was Mayo being defiant?
Maybe.
Yeah, like Lovie Smith. Like, hey, Mayo, listen, man. We're not gonna keep you after this year. He's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna coach out the season.
Win this game.
Bet. I'm gonna go out here and handle this. Take care of this. What's the song? What was your song today?
I forget.
Okay. All right.
We've been talking so much since I came in. I forget. Hold on, let me go back to it.
I wasn't looking at you. I didn't mean to yell it at you.
What was your song?
I wasn't looking. I thought you didn't hear me. So my fault.
It's Rihanna, Cheers, Drink to That. That's
How's
why
it
I
go?
didn't remember. Cheers to the freaking weekend. Da, da, da. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think I might be unfamiliar.
It's a bad song.
Did you delete it?
No.
Oh, come on. Did she do that at her boring-ass Super Bowl halftime show?
CJ,
It is boring.
I am not in the mood for this Thursday to begin with you railing on Rihanna's Super Bowl performance.
How boring that halftime performance was.
Can we talk, like, I want to say her name correctly. That feels respectful.
I don't know.
But my God,
I don't know.
Rihanna just hit in a different place. Rihanna makes me feel like I'm
A country lady sitting on the porch drinking
like,
sweet tea?
Oh,
look at that Rihanna.
That Rihanna's
Oh,
pretty
sweet
talented.
Rihanna.
She sings some good songs.
She does
She
sing
sings
good
about the
songs.
umbrellas. I think Rihanna, umbrella. Rihanna, umbrella.
How will we rhyme that?
I don't know, but I don't like it. What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, January 9th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, it is a Grizzlies game day. Grizzlies Rockets tonight, and there were some exciting injury report updates. Could we see the return of Ja Morant? We'll get into that. Had a great game in the NBA last night with the Cavs and the Thunder. Teresa Walker is going to join us about 20 minutes in. We will ask her to make sense of what's going on with the Tennessee Titans, her predictions on what they'll do with the #1 pick. And then we begin a fun slate of football tonight with the college football playoff semifinals going right into wild card weekend in the NFL. We are drafting things you do in the snow because Memphis is supposed to get 3 to 5 inches tonight. I see the number continuing to go up and down and all around, but we are getting snow. We will also have our weekly Sonic Mailbag question. It was a good one this week. And with a little Theater Thursday, some movies we're watching, some relationship news. The School of Rock kids got married. It was a sweet story. We'll tell you all about it. It's a Thursday. You know what we say.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Cal.
Moo!
No.
Cow who?
Excuse me, Cal says.
Cow says what?
Cal says moo.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Sharon, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three!
Bane for three. Bingo! This man Bane.
Heating it up.
Blocked by Jaron!
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger buzzer beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Ring in the new year at Southland Casino Hotel to win your share of over $100,000 in free play, cash, or a 2025 Lexus. On New Year's Eve, we're turning up the energy with incredible entertainment. Dance the night away to the beats of DJ Epic, Jerome Chisholm and the M-Town Band, and an electrifying performance from Troy Laz. There's only one place to win when the clock strikes midnight, Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic last year. Tonight you'll watch him coach at Michigan. So why do I care if a football player decides to leave one place where he's making whatever money to go somewhere where he's making even more? It's what most coaches do every year. So I cannot stand it, and I mean can't stand it, when the coaches sit up there and act like these young people are doing something wrong.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Almost Friday. Grizzlies game day Thursday. I love when I wake up truly excited for a Grizzlies game, and that was the case this morning with Grizzlies Rockets. They had me in the mood. I think it's probably because I just want to carry over the vibes from last night watching the Cavs Thunder game, which was awesome. One of the best games I've watched this year. I'm not willing to call it the best game I've watched this year, CJ, because the Steph LeBron showdown on Christmas night continues to be the first thing that comes to mind, but that also might just be how I have been conditioned by the NBA. But last night's game was the good stuff. That was a good one.
I would probably not have that Steph LeBron thing in my top 20.
What?
They don't matter anymore. And I think that's some of what's, as everybody recklessly speculates about why TV numbers are down, it happens, right? You go from one era to the next without an heir apparent. And like you're trying to figure some things out. It happened when Jordan left the league. Numbers took a dip because so much of the conversation was centered around him. Once he was no longer there, once he wasn't at the highest of high levels, like it kind of faded a little bit. The numbers did. I feel like that's happening with Steph and LeBron. I would put that game up there with Cavs Celtics from earlier this season when the Cavs were undefeated and the Celtics took them on. In that contest, the Celtics, if I remember correctly, got the win, gave the Cavs their first loss. I would also put it up there with the game we just saw, the Thunder and the Celtics play as well, because those games feel like they matter more in a, hey, we're trying to be next. As we look around for the next big thing in the NBA, as we look around for the next dynasty, so to speak, or the next great superstar who's going to dominate an era, it feels like the Cavs, the Thunder, and the Celtics are three teams with a handful of players on them, from Shea to Donovan Mitchell, who I need to respect more and do a better job of respecting myself. It feels like they'll have a whole lot to say about it going forward in the future.
Well, and that was the thing that stood out last night. Like, they were both really well-built teams because Donovan Mitchell is the star of the Cavs, but Donovan Mitchell is not why the Cavs beat the Thunder last night. Like, Jared Allen looked like the best player on the court and the impact that he has on both sides.
Almost like the Thunder might be a little light in ass and can't box out and can't keep a good rebounding team off of the board.
Almost like I'd be very intrigued how the Thunder would look if they had also had Chet Holmgren last night. They're 17-2 without Chet Holmgren.
I understand.
And if you're able to double flank with Isaiah Hartenstein. Listen, I'm intrigued. I know everybody here wants to hate on the Thunder, and I'm not going to glaze the Thunder, as the kids say, because there's enough of that going around. But I'm going to respect that they're a really damn good team. Like, both those teams were good teams. Someone had to lose. There was enough defense played. There was a normal amount of good three-point shooting, but just the shot making between those two teams, the Cavs made a couple more shots.
The Thunder, the Cavs made a couple more shots, absolutely.
And Hartenstein got in foul trouble, which allowed Jared out.
The second issue with the Thunder is, can they shoot? That game turned in the fourth quarter when the Cavs went zone. And it was, all right, Shea wants to get the ball at the top of the key and go to work. We're in the zone, so it's two dudes standing in front of him, and there's one dude in the paint, and Allen. So let's stop that. And the Cavs had no answer for that. I agree with you, right? I don't want to come on here and be Mr. Thunder hater. They're a good regular season team. In a 7-game series, the right matchup, and this goes for anybody, right? They're not so good a team that in a 7-game series, they won't get got. And when you think about what LeBron James's Cavs were, what the Big Three Heat were, what the Steph Curry's Warriors were, you knew in a 7-game series, they would be okay. Like, I don't know that about the Thunder. That's what makes this season so much fun. The Thunder get matched up with the Rockets or the Grizzlies, two of the best rebounding teams in the NBA. I think the two best rebounding teams in the NBA from a statistical standpoint, and two of the best offensive rebounding teams in the NBA. They get matched up with them, and I like Chet as much as the next person. He's remarkable. He's that next coming of big. You throw him in the same category that you do Jaren and that you do Victor Wembanyama, right? Like, these bigs who are really, really versatile and great rim protectors as well on the defensive side of the ball. But I don't think he's going to help out a ton with rebounding. So
Caruso does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He won't.
It's collective rebounding. We had such different takes on watching last night.
They can't. You can say collective rebounding all you want to.
Sure.
Fine. Caruso has to box out Gafford or Lively on the Mavericks. Who's going to win that? Gafford and Lively are. Right? Your bigs have to be the ones. Caruso can come in and grab the ball once the bigs do the boxing out. But if your bigs aren't big enough to box out the other team's bigs, like, you kind of up shit's creek right out of paddle.
But if you have Hartenstein, Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Lou Dort can get a couple boards. That does not concern me enough for the Thunder. Watching the game last night and watching the stretch for the Thunder, because they just beat the Celtics as well, they are without Chet and Alex Caruso, and they went 2-1 against legitimate contenders between the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Cavs. Like, there is a reason why most NBA prognosticators at this point in the season have a special contender category, and it includes 3 teams. It's a 3-team club with Boston, with Cleveland, and with OKC. And watching last night's game, I thought that was a very fair designation for the Thunder. And, like, the Knicks are right behind there, and we'll see how the West continues to play out. Certainly a full-strength Grizzlies team everyone is hopeful could be in a contender status. We just haven't seen that yet. The Mavs, healthy when they have both Luka and Kyrie available, sit in that space as well.
And that's why I wouldn't put anybody in the West in that clear contender for an NBA Finals trip. Because I think there are 4 really good teams with some glaring holes and glaring issues that you can take advantage of. And it on any given day is somebody else. It can go your way or it can go somebody else's way. I think you can say absolutely Cavs, Celtics are in that NBA Finals, NBA champion conversation. And then you got to let the West play out. Because would it surprise you in a 7-game series if Oklahoma City fell to the Dallas Mavericks?
No.
It wouldn't surprise me either. But it also wouldn't surprise me if Oklahoma City went out there and beat the Dallas Mavericks right now. I would say that about the Thunder, the Mavs, the Rockets, and the Grizzlies right now.
I don't know if the Rockets have enough scoring. But we'll see. I don't want to hate on the Rockets.
The Rockets don't have enough scoring.
Yes.
But the Thunder do?
I'm more confident in the Thunder's ability to consistently put up points than the Rockets. The Rockets drag it way more in the mud and we'll see tonight. Like that is the case with some of these opponents for the Grizzlies, whether it be the Rockets early in the season when they lost in Houston. We've seen it with the Clippers. We've seen it with the Lakers. The teams that really throw a lot of physicality have given the Grizzlies problems this season. Tonight's game's exciting. It's not on national television, and I did find myself thirsting for a nationally televised Grizzlies game last night because just watching all the attention. You talk about the problem the NBA has had with enough people caring, enough people watching, but you put a product like last night on and they treated it like a real heavyweight fight, right? Like the lead up to Cavs Thunder, I thought was given the grace of a big time game. It was talked about all day long. Then I popped on Get Up this morning to watch the highlights. They didn't even show the highlights on ESPN's #1 morning show, and they just had the game on ESPN the night before, which is baffling to me. But all that to be said, remembering that the last time the Grizzlies played on a big national TV game, so between ESPN and TNT, was November 15th against the Warriors on the road, and that's when they lost at Golden State. But we do have a stretch coming up between the MLK game against the Timberwolves. They flex to that game next week at San Antonio onto ESPN, which will be fun.
What
and
time?
Then 6.
I hope it's 6.
I said that so confidently.
No, you didn't. You started with.
Well, no, it came out 6, and then it trailed off for just a little bit.
If you don't
there.
know, finish your thought, and I can look it up.
My point is, we will be able to see the Grizzlies on national television a few times this month, and their game against the Rockets at the end of the month is on national TV as well. That game is on TNT. So they will have a chance to make some statements coming up here, and thankfully it looks as if they will be
8:30.
Oh, God.
Yes.
It was such a wishful thought.
Yeah.
It was so wishful.
Yeah.
8:30.
8:30.
You're
You're talking
what
Grizzlies
state
Spurs.
is San Antonio in?
Texas.
What time zone is Texas in?
American.
Central.
I'm sorry.
Why are we having an 8:30 start?
I thought we were renaming everything. I apologize.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are we having American Standard Time? American. What if we just put an American before each of them?
Yeah, we can do that.
That'll
American
work.
Central Standard, American Eastern.
American Pacific.
Yeah. Or just most America, best America,
Or why don't we just
tremendous
have
America,
American time zone and we just
one time
crush
zone.
it all together?
One time zone.
Sorry, it's 7 a.m. in New York City. It's technically 4 a.m. in California. It's dark, but it's 7 a.m. now.
Damn
Get
right.
up and get
Damn
your
right.
booty to work. Speaking of California, continuing to send thoughts and prayers to everybody out in Los Angeles. The fires continue to be horrific. Had a friend who lost an entire house, and I just cannot even imagine what that experience has been like, and it continues to be scary. But sending lots of love back there to one of my favorite coasts, even though I now live in Memphis, Tennessee. That said, Grizzlies Rockets tonight, not on national television, but I am so excited for this game because you're telling me there's a chance that in a game that features the number 2 and the number 3 teams in the Western Conference, that Ja Morant could come back. There is a chance that Ja Morant plays tonight. There is a chance that Desmond Bane comes back tonight after missing the last game with an ankle sprain. There is a chance that Santi Aldama, who the last time we saw him on a basketball court was being said in the same sentence as 6th man of the year candidate, Santi Aldama, there's a chance he plays tonight because all 3 of those players have been upgraded to questionable on the injury report. We know how to read the injury report tea leaves. If you're questionable, there is a chance that you will play. Jaren Jackson Jr., also questionable. He's been putting in all the work, but one could appropriately assume that there is a better than insert high number percentage here, because I don't do well putting specific numbers in the math of it all, but that we will see Ja, Jaren, and Dez and the rest of this Grizzlies team operate as close to full strength as they've been in a minute against a very good Houston Rockets team that comes into the building tonight, a Houston Rockets team that features a former Grizzly in Dylan Brooks. You have the drama there. The last time Dylan Brooks was in this building, he hit a dagger for the Rockets that drowned the Grizzlies last season. Potentially Steven Adams, who's had limited minutes off the bench. He's been in and out of the roster, but he's played the last couple of games, what he could look like battling it out with Zach Edey. And then mostly just 2 of the best teams in the West. Jalen Green's been awesome since the calendar year turned. He's averaging close to 28 points. He's made 17 threes in his last 3 games. Alperen Şengün's been awesome as well. It just creates a potential to have a very fun, electric game tonight. at FedEx Forum, and those are the ones we get up for.
Jalen versus Jalen. That's going to be fun to see.
Jalen.
They need to do, if it was, well, I mean, maybe FanDuel can do it, but, if it was a national televised, like do a spy versus spy style. I don't know if you children remember Spy v Spy. If I recall correctly, I know it was a video game. If I recall correctly, it was a skit on SNL where they had 2 cartoon characters, 2 spies, just going back and forth at one another. They could do Jalen versus Jalen like that. Do it just like that. I'm assuming Jalen is on Jalen, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
He's been taking that assignment.
And we've seen Grizzlies Jalen do really well defending those types of perimeter players, right? Not necessarily the bigger more physical ones,
quicker,
but the ones that are quicker who want to go by you. So this is going to be fun to sit down and watch.
I'll just remind everyone that the Grizzlies Jalen, the rookie Jalen, who starts for a Memphis Grizzlies team that's 3rd in the Western Conference.
Mad TV, spy versus spy. Go ahead.
I didn't watch a lot of Mad TV.
I loved Mad TV.
Chris loved Mad TV.
Mad TV was
Do you
better.
think it was a boy versus girl thing? We had this conversation about Ed, and Eddie yesterday.
Yeah, Ed, and Eddie was definitely for the dudes.
Yeah, I never watched Ed, and Eddie. I thought it was dumb.
Yeah, Ed, and Eddie was. I don't think Mad TV versus SNL was. I think Mad TV was edgier than SNL at the time. Why it went away, I can't really recall. But the magazine, lasted after the show went away. The magazine was first, show comes, and then magazine lasted afterwards. I'm not sure if the magazine is still around. I don't think it was boy versus girl. It was your sense of humor, right? How edgy did you want to be? Mad TV.
How edgy did your parents allow you to be?
And that's
the
other part.
I don't think my parents were force-feeding me Mad TV.
Your parents were taking you to talk to Dr. Sue. Your parents were pretty damn edgy.
It was Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth, Dr. Sue, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
But same conversations is popping off.
It's true. They take me to movies, but then when it came to The Simpsons and South Park, I feel like they were slower on the uptick of encouraging me to watch shows like that. What I was gonna say about Jalen Wells, starter for the Memphis Grizzlies. Rookie starter for the Memphis Grizzlies. It's really cute. The Rockets, they have a great player. I'm not here to knock Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard just dropped 49 points in his G League debut. It's not starting. It's not starting for the Rockets. Not a part of their rotation at this exact moment in time. He had 49 points. That's incredible. As he should, being a first-round draft pick playing in the G League. But I don't know. Grizzlies have Jalen Wells, who's contributing each and every night. It should be a fun one tonight at FedEx Forum. Grizzlies, Rockets. It hits before the snow comes into the city, so you have 0 excuses to not come out and support the Grizzlies tonight. Yes, CJ. Looking at me inquisitively. Hands on the hips.
Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele. Thank you, Jessica.
You're so welcome. Key and Peele.
Oh, they come from Mad TV.
I didn't know they came from Mad TV.
Yeah, they come from Mad TV.
This is where I feel like I missed out on Mad TV because somebody will tell me, oh, they got their start on Mad TV. And I'm like, oh, I love that person. Why didn't I watch Mad TV? Another person I love, Teresa Walker of the Associated Press. She will join us in the next segment. Oh, things are happening over there on the other side of the state with the Tennessee Titans. We'll talk to her about the firing of Ran Carthon, what the Titans should do with the #1 pick, plus an exciting stretch of football begins tonight with the first semifinal of the college football playoff. It goes straight into tonight. And you want to know what? I'm so happy because it's the Notre Dame-Penn State game tonight, which I'm excited to have on my laptop, but my primary focus will be on Grizzlies Rockets. I'm grateful that it's tomorrow. That's the Texas-Ohio State game, because I would like to be seated on my couch for that one. We'll ask Teresa which one she's most excited for, who she thinks will make it to the championship game, along with some wild card weekend previews. That's all with Teresa when we come back.
I can't wait to see what your #1. If that's your #2.
#1 for me.
Come on, man.
I listen to the Bells, Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross's Christmas album.
I gotta go back and listen to that one, man. I'm sure I've heard it.
To the Bells and they made me remember. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball. But the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
All right, we're back. It's Thursday. It is time to catch up with Teresa Walker, who I have just been waiting to talk about, considering everything that's happened with the Tennessee Titans this week. Teresa, how are you holding up? Is everybody running to the grocery store in Nashville to also buy supplies because of the upcoming snow?
Well, you know that they are. I mean, oh my God.
Of course.
I mean, the forecast here is anywhere from 3 to 8 inches. Maybe there's ice. And then part of the problem is, like yesterday, I had to go pick up a prescription and a couple things, and all the carts were in. I mean, I've got a little basket and it's overflowing because it's like, well, I'm getting low on this and this and this, and I went to the store last Friday and stocked up, and it's like I got to go shopping, and people are like, you'd think that a tsunami of snow was coming, and people are just trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, and it's just one day this time too. Like, it's one day of snow, but you hear anywhere between 3 to 8 inches, and everybody starts losing their ever-loving mind. So that's how we are here too.
I will push back on the 1 day of snow because I don't know what Nashville's power situation looks like, but and no disrespect meant
to the
intentionally
to the people at
MLG&W, but they have been known to have power outages in these types of situations, right? Like enough snow lands on enough of these old ass wires, causing them to snap, and now there you go, you're without power, and God knows when the power will come back. So I kind of get it.
It's true. They had an outage yesterday for a couple hours yesterday afternoon.
Go ahead and get your stuff, get your cooler, stick your cooler in your stuff outside with some ice, you'll be straight.
Well, that's the good thing about cold. You know, when power goes out in the heat, you're just in trouble. But when it's cold, you can put your food outside and keep it safe. And it's why we've got gas logs in our living room. So worst case scenario, we can always huddle up in front of the fire, and we don't even have to go outside for wood. So, and I was in Memphis during the infamous ice storm that canceled the first indoor ATP event because they lost power at the old racket club. And
I used to do trivia at the racket club. You talking about the snowstorm 1994? Was that 94 or 93?
Well, it was an ice storm that, and because I think there was a snowstorm that maybe the next year or somewhere. Hey, it was the last century, right?
Yeah.
But it was the ice storm because I woke up on Friday morning to the sound of the transformers going pop, 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 pop all over town. And, back here, no power. I told my friends to go to my apartment where my apartment in Franklin had power. So yeah, it's interesting. So just prepare because and that's the thing, that it's weather. If it comes the wrong way, guess what? We've got ice, and ice is way worse than snow.
It sure is. And Teresa, I know it's been a busy week for you, been quite the week for the Titans. They go from securing the #1 pick to firing their general manager. And let's start there because the Ran Carthon firing has been one of the bigger talking points in the NFL this week. He's out after 2 seasons. Were you surprised? What was your reaction to this decision by the Titans?
I was surprised because 2 years, but let's put it this way. I wrote preparation for, and I mean news alert story over 400 words Sunday while I was waiting for the Chargers game to end so I'd know who the Houston Texans were playing on Saturday. So I had preparation ready because there was too much smoke. So that something's going to happen when there's that much talk and chatter. And they spent more than anybody in the NFL this offseason. And the problem is there was just too many holes to fix in one offseason. It was that simple.
That simple.
Oh, wait, hold.
It is.
Wait. Did the holes get fixed though?
No.
Okay.
And
But it wasn't because it was too many holes to fix. Even the players that they had that they thought were going to fill some of those holes. Did all of them perform at the level we thought they would?
No.
No. A lot of those guys, Lloyd Cushenberry played 8 games, Achilles tendon. L'Jarius Sneed, 5 games. He told reporters a couple weeks ago that he had to have bone marrow injections to help his quad. The 2 people who paid off, Tony Pollard had a 1,000-yard rushing season, led the team in touchdowns rushing, and Calvin Ridley, who had a 1,000-yard season, but maybe didn't have quite the impact you'd like from somebody who you gave a $92 million contract to. So they spent a lot of money, and the problem is, guys, you cannot whiff on 3 straight first-round draft picks and fill all those in a couple of off seasons. And his first off season, I would argue that his hands were kind of they were salary cap strapped. And you couldn't get to work on the roster the way that you'd like to. They're going to have they're projected to have $65 million in space this offseason, the #1 pick, and whoever's GM and working with Chad Brinker, the president of football ops, going to have a lot more things to work with and fewer holes to fill because the draft this year, Jarvis Brownlee in the 5th round looks like he could be a starter cornerback for years to come in the NFL. So J.C. Latham started every game as a rookie. It's just the right side of that offensive line remains a hot mess. And the quarterback that Carthon traded up to get, and Will Levis, he's the only one under contract, but they've made clear he will have competition next year.
You bring up Chad Brinker, the president of football operations, and I guess when it came to the firing of Ran Carthon, Teresa, that's what stood out to me, both the retention of Brian Callahan, the retention of Chad Brinker. It made me wonder, one, who's in charge, even with a hiring of a new general manager? And 2, why in what was kind of seen as a triumvirate between Carthon, Brinker, and Callahan as the brain trust and the cohesiveness of them running the Titans, why only one of those 3 was let go when collectively the Titans failed?
Well, in an attempt to clean up on aisle 5, I talked with the president he's kind of the president CEO, Bert Nihill. and Chad Brinker, who last year when Rand was given the title of executive vice president in addition to general manager, along with an extension, which folks in athletics, quit giving extensions after one season, especially when you lose, okay, please. But they gave Chad Brinker at that time the title of president of football operations. And Amy Adams Strunk made clear on Tuesday, Chad Brinker is going to he's going to be the tiebreaker moving forward on all roster decisions. So, so maybe there was some unclear processes there. And this kind of cuts through some of that red tape. You could also maybe argue that there was a power play there. And, Chad Brinker, the guy who came here after 13 years with the Packers, certainly a winning organization for the fans who are saying we want somebody who's, got experience with a healthy organization. Well, guess what? For 6 straight seasons, this team, when they were winning, tied for the 8th best record in the NFL. The last 3 seasons, they're tied for 3rd worst in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals. So that's where, and guys, I keep going back. There's been 3 hirings in 3 consecutive seasons. 2 of those GMs, if you don't have the talent on the roster, I don't care how good your coaches are, you're not going to win.
And you're now paying 3 GMs.
Yeah, well, it's her money.
It's true. It is true. I will ask you on the coaching side of things, because many people have made the connection that now Mike Vrabel, former Tennessee Titans coach, is, I would call him the hottest coaching candidate on the coaching carousel and with various job openings right now. What does that say to you, Teresa? Was it just not the right fit in Nashville? Is this what happens sometimes when a coach gets fired and then there's a necessity of filling a lot of holes at one time from coaching vacancies and somebody has to be the star of the coaching search, or is it somewhere in the middle?
Well, sometimes you just come to the end of the road,
Yeah.
okay? And that's what it felt like with Mike. So there's all the stories after his firing that, oh, he was such a big man, he could be intimidating, or, well, he was also, and when I went and talked to people nationally, they're like, how scary is he to cover? And it's like, he could be very funny. And, one of the most, I had a fairly decent relationship with him, probably one of the better ones I've had with the coach, yet I'm not inside the building day to day. And you know how it is. Sometimes breakups happen because you come to the end of the road. But now, guess what? He did have a good record as a coach. Mm-hmm. He won 2 division titles. He took the team with Derrick Henry's help to an AFC title game. And, so guess what? You look around at the current crop, there's a lot of, potential in coordinators, or you could go to guys like, the Jets interviewed Rex Ryan. Come on. What are we talking about?
Nobody wants to go coach the Jets. That's what it says to me.
Mike Vrabel is 1 year removed from coaching. So it's like, that's, to me, that his record is why he is a hot commodity. I'm just waiting for the Raiders to get in on this, because you don't think that Tom Brady is going to maybe want to call his buddy and former player. These are the guys who were joking and giving each other, gag gifts before they had joint practice here in Nashville. So it's like, I know that the Patriots are lining up to interview him as well. He's already interviewed with the Jets. He interviewed with the Bears yesterday. He is the hot candidate because he's very recent. He's shown that he can bring structure to and a voice and a direction to a program. And he's got a good record. That makes him a hot topic. And then, oh yeah, players coach. That's what everybody told me he was.
Mm-hmm. I think he gets the bump of football guy energy. I really do.
Yes.
When you think of just a stereotypical football guy, like, oh, Mike Vrabel, that's what a coach is supposed to be, a player's coach, which is completely unrelated, but that's what it seems like to me.
Isn't everybody in the NFL big? I don't understand how Vrabel being big makes him
Mike
more intimidating than anybody else. Mike McDaniel's big.
No, he's not.
No.
I'm getting to Mike's. I'm thinking
Mike
McCarthy. I'm thinking McCarthy.
Yeah, but he's not. I cannot pinpoint the energy that Mike Vrabel brings, but I think that it attributes to a bump in his favorability or the assumption that he would be. And like Teresa said, like he had a good record, so you can fall on that too. But there's just something about the way that Mike Vrabel presents himself that I think tailors to that guy is a football coach right there. It doesn't make complete sense, but that's where it sits. I thought you were going to say Tom Brady's going to call Bill Belichick and try to convince him to pay the easy breezy buyout on that North Carolina money. You don't have to DM any more recruits, coach. Just come on over to Las Vegas. We've got you covered.
Well, there was that talk. There was a report that he was doing, maybe doing that. But let's put it this way. I mean, he's busy recruiting and tweeting. I mean, it's like, as a colleague of mine put it, it's like Grandpa found social media. He's sharing pictures of barbecue joints and meeting up with recruits in North Carolina. So he seems to be embracing the college life. So, and let's not forget all the memes that accompanied the announcement of him becoming Chapel Bill. So, he seems to be okay with going to college, and at a time where we've got, some older college coaches tapping out saying, I can't deal with this right now. It's just too crazy here. So it's interesting to see what's going on in college sports. That's for sure. But I don't see Bill Belichick going back to the NFL.
Before everything popped off with the GM decision, the Titans did secure the #1 pick in this year's draft, Teresa. And if you were the tie-breaking vote on what they should do with that draft pick, where are you leaning today on January 9th of how the Titans should utilize the gift of a bad season turning into a #1 pick?
Trade back, if at all possible, and get more picks. If not, Travis Hunter. And you, me, Chris Johnson was on Pac-Man Jones's podcast earlier this week, and apparently everybody's got a podcast these days.
I was just gonna say, I did not know Pac-Man Jones had a podcast.
I should have had that on my bingo card.
God,
Chris Jones on Pac-Man.
So much competition, CJ. How do we exist when we're up against
with
Pac-Man
great
Jones?
guests like me?
Exactly. My God. But
well,
apparently we're all
you're
on
the
the same
one
page.
carrying this.
Yeah.
The Teresa clip last week did numbers, by the way. I forget what you said, Teresa, but whatever you said did numbers last week. So you're carrying this show.
Thank you, Teresa.
Well, my pleasure, and thank you for giving me a chance to talk. So there you go. And but that's the thing. It's these days everybody's talking. In fact, I talked to a journalism professor yesterday about what it takes to be a journalist, and if you're going to be in sports media. Or sports writer, do you need a background in journalism? And I still say yes.
You do.
Because yes, I do. Because
I do. I say yes for journalism, but I say there's an assortment of. It's gotten so blurry. I struggle. I'll talk to you about this someday because so many kids and young people ask me my take on this, and I see as a journalism student myself, as someone who graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism and took journalism ethics class and how to write and how to broadcast and all of the above. I like to think that was very important. But I do think we live in a world now where more than ever, those lines have been blurred of what is a journalist, what is a content creator. And sometimes those things can share a space and other times they're completely different.
Well, yes, because why the internet? It's so easy to buy a mic and create a website and start doing podcasts. And as I've said to the professor, it's like, and I've been on many podcasts, okay? I say yes to a lot of folks, including fans, but there is a difference. We know how to ask questions. And we are accountable to somebody. We're not just, we're not just throwing stuff on the internet. You and I and CJ, we all have bosses that we have to answer to if we suddenly start saying something, and we can't throw stuff up against the side of a barn and then walk away and pretend that we never said it. We are held accountable for what we say. And and I'll just say this, when I report something and it's on condition of anonymity, I have to tell somebody how I learned something, who I learned it from, how they know, and it has to be somebody who has firsthand knowledge. Hearing it from a buddy who heard it from a friend ain't it good enough.
Yeah, my life today in this opinion-based show is very different than when I worked for a news organization. And you, of course, work for the Associated Press. So those bars continue to be quite high. I won't hold you accountable for what you say to this next question. However, I would be curious, who are the two teams that you think come out of the college football playoff semifinals?
Wait, who's in the college
Notre Dame,
football
Penn State tonight, and Texas, Ohio State tomorrow.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame and Ohio State because Ohio State looks like that train coming down the tracks. And that game, and I'm curious, the last time they had snow at Jerry World, it was problems.
I've
heard. We remember stuff falling off the building and endangering fans. So this is going to be something to watch tomorrow night. But James Franklin's going to have to prove to me that he can win the big game and make decisions that matter in the key moments. I've seen him miss that bar too many times in his career, starting at Vanderbilt and at Penn State. Prove me wrong, James.
And finally, what wild card game are you most excited for this weekend?
Saturday night. I want to see Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. I mean, the Steelers have been their nemesis for so long, but it just feels like that combination, they feel unstoppable, baby. And we've seen what Derrick Henry can do in the playoffs.
Teresa?
Real quick.
Yes.
Yep.
Talked about a lot of bad that the Titans are going through right now, and it's a lot to talk about. But yesterday was the anniversary of the Music City Miracle, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
I'm assuming you were there because, hell, you're everywhere in the great state of Tennessee. You saw it. What went through your mind as the miracle popped off?
Well, I was in the press box that day. I was standing getting ready to go downstairs, and I watched it, and I'm like, that's if the TV angle is good, that is going to stand. That's exactly what I was thinking. And you know what? It did. And the funny
thing is it a forward pass?
No, it was a lateral by the barest minimum. I mean, the thing that throws all the Bills fans off who call it, they've got their own phrase for it up there. But the fact of the matter is that ball goes backwards by maybe it was the merest of inches, but it went backwards enough to count as a lateral. And I was almost online with that in the press box. And it's like, I'm standing watching it. And I'm like, the only question I had was, did they have a good enough TV angle, or will they call that, that was my biggest question.
Man, and look, and it was Frank Wachek threw that pass, man, to Dyson. Listen now, some would say, I wouldn't dare say this in the state of Tennessee, I wouldn't. Some would say that it was a forward pass, but because Dyson leans, he makes it look like it was a lateral. Much the same way a catcher on a pitch outside grabs and moves the glove right back to the strike zone. That's what some would say, Teresa. I'm not saying that, though.
Don't say that, CJ, because what he did, yes, the legs being where they were and Dice having to go back. Dyson, who is the principal of my son's high school in Williamson County as we speak, where my son went to high school. Dr. Kevin Dyson, who has a book out, I'll give him a plug, but he goes backwards. Watch the hands. The feet are what are deceptive about that play, but his hands are back behind the yard marker. Look. Watch as you replay this. Look where Frank is and where he catches that with that right foot. That was the key. That's where he caught that ball. That's what made it a lateral. Buffalo fans will never agree, but it was upheld on the field, and there was nothing definitive to overturn it. And that launched them on the path to their one and only Super Bowl. Watch as that ball comes
right
out.
Here. All right. Here it goes,
His hand
Teresa.
is on the other side of the line, and see where he catches it.
Teresa, like that looks ahead of that line. It looks like his foot is. I wouldn't say that, though, not in the great state of Tennessee. Hey, it happened. They didn't call it on the field, so it stands, baby.
That's what it is. Our wonderful director, Jacob, is a Titans fan, and he pointed out that the only moment of happiness for the Titans happened before he was born. And I do think that's fair when you are a fan of a team where either their greatest times happened before you were in existence, or like for me, I'm a USC football fan, but I did not become a USC true football fan until I went to USC. Like, I don't get to claim the Reggie Bush years. Like, I don't get to claim the USC Notre Dame game. Like, I wasn't a real fan.
You didn't
and
experience it.
No, all I get is Reggie's Heisman jacked, and he doesn't get it anymore, and it doesn't get to sit next to O.J. Simpson's Heisman in the exactly.
I thought they had overturned that.
They have, but when I was in school and when I went to Heritage Hall, the athletic facilities, and went around the room, like it's like he didn't even exist. And all I got was Lane Kiffin left on a tarmac, Teresa. All I got was Steve Sarkisian telling donors to fight the F on and then getting fired. Like, where were my good times?
Hey, Jess, I get that because my son went to the University of Tennessee during the times of Butch Jones and Jeremy Pruitt.
All he got were trash cans.
Exactly. And
I feel the pain.
So yes, I get that. And my son, I was literally pregnant with my son when the University of Tennessee won its national championship. So he was a baby when I was covering the Super Bowl. So he does not get that stuff. So hang on. He did get for Christmas a shirt of Tennessee's national baseball championship. So better times are coming.
I'll tell Jacob better times are coming for the Titans.
He doesn't want to hear it.
I know.
Travis Hunter, baby.
Travis Hunter.
Teresa,
he'll play both sides of the ball in the NFL, and he'll save everything.
Don't have to talk about it, but you got an interesting article coming out, right, in the next couple of hours and next day or so?
Well, within the next 30 minutes at the most. As my eyes were flipping over, the family of Frank Wycheck has announced that, yes, he did have stage 3 CTE. He thought he had CTE while he was still alive, made clear that he wanted his brain studied after he died. He died December of 23 at a fall at his home. And yes, they've confirmed that with an announcement this morning. And that story I'll be sharing on social within the next hour.
Teresa, thank you as always. Consensual heart hands. We'll see you next week. That was Teresa Walker. You can catch her work at the Associated Press. She is on Twitter at Teresa M. Walker. She is on Blue Sky. Teresa Walker. Are you still on Blue Sky, CJ?
Yeah, I do things every now and then over there. I hop over there.
Tinkering with Blue Sky?
I do more on Blue Sky than I do on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And more than I don't post on Instagram. I just lurk. Like I'm a big lurker. I don't post. I don't like anything.
Yeah.
I just look at stuff and keep it going. I
lurk on all of them. But I post.
I work on Twitter. I'm trying to move that work to Blue Sky, and then I just lurk on Instagram.
Yeah.
You don't understand the hold that the Music City Miracle had on this state.
No.
It was a moment.
It was a miracle.
It was a
Anytime
moment.
you have a name for something that's carried over, like when you can just say Music City Miracle and everybody knows what you're talking about. That's pretty symbolic of one of the great times in sports that took over an entire area.
Not a Titans fan. A lot of people became Titans fans on that day during that playoff run. I know exactly what I was doing before it happened, during the miracle, and what I did after the Music City Miracle, right? Like, that's how impactful it was for me, and I'm not a Titans fan.
It's sad to not to be a part of it.
Oh, you guys got Denver stuff, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Like Colorado miracles, I guess. I don't know.
We have a miracle. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I mean, I would imagine you were a child though.
For Elway.
Seeing John Elway, who couldn't win the big one until he ended his career going back-to-back big ones and walking away, I would imagine that was pretty fun.
You're a child, because I was like 5, 6, so not even formative years, but that sets the ground. Like, seeing the response of a city to John Elway lays the groundwork to become a sports fan in the city of Denver.
Gotcha.
And then those Colorado Avalanche teams, like that really swept up.
Oh, yeah.
With like Patrick Waugh, Forsberg,
the big rivalry
Sakic,
with the Red Wings.
Like those were the times. So anyway, good times ahead.
Was there a Mile High Miracle? If there was, I feel like that was in the 80s. I don't feel like that was a recent Mile High Miracle. Or unless we're calling what Tebow did.
They call the Flacco to Dakota. It was Baltimore at Denver.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, so
that's what comes up was the Jacoby Jones.
So that's not even yours.
Not even ours.
That's the Ravens. That's heartbreaking.
It was a playoff game against the Broncos. Like, what are you doing? Why would you bring that up? Go home. I'm trying to make my home the location of someone else's miracle.
How did that Titans playoff run?
I call Nikola Jokic a Mile High Miracle every day.
Oh, he is.
He is.
He's special.
We call too many things miracles.
I think it's a miracle for somebody to be that big doing what Jokic is doing.
Yeah.
And you got to appreciate the little miracles. Every breath you take is a little miracle.
Speaking of little miracles,
what?
Did you see the work that Yuki Kawamura put in yesterday?
Yes. Shout out to Yuki.
They're pulling in the big guns.
Damn right.
The biggest guns for all-star voting. I think today is a triple vote day.
Okay.
So go vote
Absolutely.
for Ja, Jaren, and Dez. And if I can't tell you to go vote, allow Yuki Kawamura to tell you to vote. They had Yuki do a video because obviously all of Yuki's fans have been tremendous in voting for him for the G League Next Man Up game. And so they had Yuki put out a video on Twitter yesterday. It got like 500,000 views. Like normal videos get around 30 to 40, maybe 100 on a good day. 500,000 views because Yuki told you to do it.
Yuki was responsible.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yuki was the sole reason they beat the Mavericks on Monday, and now he's going to be a major reason why Jared John Dez getting to the All-Star
You
game.
asked my dad and Chris. They came home from that game. They told me, Yuki Kawamura changed that game. I said, are we rewriting history?
No, he did. But
He had a moment.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, the proximate foul. It was all over for the Mavs from there on out.
It was all Yuki, baby.
Anyway, make sure that you vote for your Grizzlies for All-Star. Make sure that you come out to Grizzlies Rockets tonight. We'll take a break because tomorrow the snow falls. So we are drafting the top things that you do in the snow. We also have this week's Sonic Mailbag question. We'll let you know which question we picked. It is a good one. I'm excited to talk about it with CJ when we come back.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Jaren, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three! Bain for three. Bingo! This man Bain heating it up. Blocked by Jaren!
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve it.
You walked in here on Friday afternoon and said
the smoke.
Every day for the last 2 years, you have said, I am John Buckeye.
I said once the playoff matchups were made, you asked what I thought. I said Ohio State's going to beat them by double digits. I said Ohio State's. I walked it all back and went John Vol. I joined General Nealon's Navy.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them
How
Tigers?
about the Tigers?
Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on the microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
welcome back, welcome back. Before we get into our draft of the week, we have our Sonic Mailbag question of the week. And this week's question came from Jordan Peterson Camp. It is, for JB and CJ, what is the first piece of pop culture that felt like yours? The first thing you saw, listened to, or read that you not only loved, but that clarified and revealed things about yourself or the world? It's a great question. Deep question. What's your answer, CJ?
I read the question again because I want to make sure I answer it correctly.
The first piece of pop culture that felt like yours. The first thing you saw, listened to, or read that you not only loved, but that clarified and revealed things about yourself or the world.
Okay. All right. Because I remember the first piece of pop culture that felt like it was mine. It was the Oklahoma City bombing. Like it was. And wait till you hear about the one that makes me feel like it's mine. Like lets me know where I am in the world. Read the second part because I want to make sure again. Read the second part because I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly.
Clarified and revealed things about yourself and the world.
Yeah. OJ's verdict. OJ's verdict. I was in like second grade, and I remember all of the white lady teachers, because I was in elementary school. It was a whole lot of women teaching, and they just so happened to be damn near all white. I remember them huddled up in the cafeteria, talking enraged, looked like they were on the verge of tears, and they were like, I was like, what's wrong? I'm trying to be empathetic. What's wrong? Like, OJ was found innocent. I was like, of course he was. The glove didn't fit. You heard Johnny Cochran. Everybody high-five me. They're like, CJ, go get your ass in line. Stop it. Because I was like, oh, I think I'm different from these people in some sort of a way. And it I was a car rider. My mom picked me up. And I remember we had a quick, brief conversation because I'm in second grade. Nobody's going to explain to a second grader that this man who is a serial spousal abuser, he abused his first spouse. He's abusing Nicole as well. My mom's not prepared to have that type of a conversation with me about OJ. And I was like, hey, why are they so upset about this? She's like, oh, they just hate us, baby. You did the right thing. We're glad he didn't do it. The glove didn't fit. You heard Johnny? I was like, yeah, I heard Johnny. And then one of the biggest realizations of my young adult life was OJ probably did that shit. Right? And we were just, as a black community, we celebrated something that we shouldn't have celebrated. Then we got a whole 30 for 30 on that. If you guys missed it, OJ Made in America, go back, watch it. It was incredible. It laid this all out beautifully and explained it beautifully. But yeah, that's the one.
You took this very differently than I did.
Well, because it's a
pop culture story. I took it more as like a physical piece of media. So I guess
the articles and
and
the
coverage
and the coverage is that
how
not
we do
physical?
Car chases now and how that changed television for the rest of time. How it changed trials and how we cover crime stories for the test of time. No, you took it in a way that I didn't think about taking it, but that's a very not awesome, wrong word, but just a perfect answer. If I would have gone that way, like Columbine, feeling close, being down the street, and
how is yours not Columbine?
Mine's Harry Potter. Like I said, I took this in a very different way.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Like
it's
the
Columbine.
very first thing that I thought about when it came to something pop culture related that changed how I consume media is Harry Potter. It comes out in the U.S. in 1998. I think it came out in the UK in 97, US in 98. I'm 6 years old. And to start to get into reading, I would sit on my mom's lap on this big recliner that we had. I can still feel myself sitting in that recliner with my mom, reading page by page and learning how to read a chapter book. And I obviously liked reading enough that I wanted to dive into reading more advanced books at a young age, and Harry Potter felt like the perfect place of that. But what that did in terms of sparking my imagination, sparking a desire of adventureness. I was an only child. The friendships that came about, not saying I felt as if I was like Harry Potter living. I was not an orphan. I had two parents who loved me very much. I did not live under the stairs, but being by himself and then finding community within his school, within his friends, learning to do the right thing, even though it can be the hard thing. It's odd now, given what J.K. Rowling has turned into, but Harry Potter for me was like this testament of good and acceptance and treating people right, and people from all different areas coming together to fight for the right thing. You add in the books coming out with the movies, and so the first movie drops in 2001, I believe. 2001 is the first movie. At that point, we're 4 books in. We're through the Goblet of Fire. I've gotten to every Barnes & Noble midnight. I mean, just imagine like sparking a love of reading that has now carried on. Like, I'm a nerd, I still read. And it's probably because of Harry Potter, because I got so entranced in that world that it carried me through. The final book coming out in 2007, I'm at a basketball tournament at the Air Force Academy, and there's like 3 of us on the team who all were big into Harry Potter. And we're like between games, because it's one of those tournaments where you're playing like 3 games in a day. It's disgusting. I think about what I used to be able to do before my Achilles failed me. And we're in the back corner trying to rip through the book so that nobody spoils it ahead of time. And it was just a different time when everyone got that excited about a book, and then you threw in the movie part of it. But like that was life-changing for me.
If we did, no, it would still be OJ. Like Goosebumps was that. Goosebumps was that for me. But Goosebumps comes about and at the Scholastic Book Fair. I hope the children are still getting those. But that comes about for me maybe in the 3rd grade when I'm like, okay, let's sit down and knock out some of these chapter books. That was that for me. And Harry Potter, the hold that it had on people who were of age at that time and still interested in reading is strong, man. My brother was a Harry Potter guy. And my parents, I remember my mom sitting me down because I had a little job. I was working at a movie theater. I'd bring home a little piece of change, and I would do nothing but blow it on food and things of that nature. And she sat me down. What the second to last book was coming out. I guess Half-Blood Prince was coming out. And she sat me down and said, hey, I want you to give me some money to buy your brother this book. It's like, why am I? You're the mama. That's your child. Why am I like you? Okay, CJ, you need to be nice to him at some point in time. So I want you to either go with him, midnight show or midnight book reveal, whatever it was, when you can go in Barnes & Noble or Books A Million at midnight to go get the book. I want you to stand in line with him, and I want you to buy him this book. I was like, no. She's like, fine. You give me the money, I'll go, and I'll stand in line with him and buy him this book. He had all of the Harry Potter books. I remember him getting the Half-Blood Prince. That's the one specifically I remember. And then the one after that, whatever, Deathly Hallows. I remember him with those 2 specifically because I bought him that because Mama told me to be nice. But he locked himself in his room and did not come out until he finished those books. Like, that's how powerful those books were.
Yeah. And for me, like, my best friend loved that. Like, me and Carly Moats, we went to every movie premiere together. We went to every book premiere together, and like having somebody to share that with. It also, in terms of like things it taught you, half of my elementary school wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter because parents, a certain group of parents decided, that it was the devil's literature. And so then I remember one of my friends like sneak reading Harry, like understanding people wanting to do things behind their parents' back. Like, we're like in 2nd grade. She's like, can I get a hit of that Harry Potter in the library? I remember them having the books up at a Scholastic Book Fair, and there was like a mini revolt of parents. And I remember them being taken out of our library within the next like 2 weeks, which was, early understanding of book banning, trying to control that kind of stuff, which I hate, obviously. But yeah, that was a good time. My other answer was Hercules, which came out in 1997, which was my first real understanding because I loved Meg more than I loved any Disney princess before. And I always knew like I wasn't just so stereotypically girly girl. Like I didn't fit right in the box. And like Meg instantly becoming my favorite Disney character. It was Esmeralda right before her, and my mom was thrilled that I jumped from Esmeralda because I just wanted to be a dancer. To Meg. But yeah, those were, but then obviously like Columbine and John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah, that
happening in Colorado was big too.
Oh, because it was in Colorado and as a little girl.
I was like, someone's gonna murder me.
I'm thinking about them, right? Those things that feel like mine. From a pop culture standpoint, they all center around, hey, you're different than people. I don't know which MTV Music Awards it was, but I was a kid. I had started to dabble into like music and movies on my own. It wasn't just what my parents were playing and watching. I started developing my own taste. And I remember sitting there at one of those MTV Music Awards, whenever The Boy Is Mine came out. I can't remember what year it was. I was like, okay, like that's the song right there. That's everybody's favorite song. Everybody loves Brandy. Everybody loves Monica.
98.
And I forget, so it was 98. I forget who ended up winning and what that award show ended up being. But I remember I left that award show with the sourest of tastes in my mouth. Like, oh, wait a damn minute. My tastes are different from everybody else's? Other people don't like this as much as I do? Are you kidding me? Like, no, I don't like that. And so that's probably when, like, I became a legitimate hater. I gave MTV, like, 6 or 7 more years, and I was like, okay, I'm done with award shows. These people don't know what they're talking about.
I was going to say, I don't think this was the right year, because I typed in 1998 Grammys just to see what one song of the year that year, and it was My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
From Titanic.
Oh, yeah. Like, if that happened, 98, I would be like 11-year-old CJ or 10-year-old CJ was incensed. Yes, I was infuriated that those songs were nominated and won over a song that I was like, clearly, this is it right here. Like, 2 beautiful women singing this passionate song together, a beautiful duet. This has got to be it.
Okay, so it did. It won it over The Boy Is Mine.
Yeah, no, that was the Grammys
But
one.
the album of the year was Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
it was
like that's
My Heart
the
Will
other
Go
one.
On, You're Still the One, Shania Twain, The Boy Is Mine, Brandy and Monica.
That should have been the winner.
Ray of Light, Madonna, and Iris, Goo Goo Dolls. Those were your
And at the time, I'd heard one of those songs.
And it was The Boy Is Mine, and you said that is the best song of the year.
Now that I'm hearing the list, how did Iris not win? What are we doing?
My Heart Will Go On is a beautiful song.
It's not better than Iris. What are you talking about?
Near, Far, Wherever You Are.
I don't care.
It got the bump of Titanic. Titanic was another piece of pop culture that didn't feel like mine, because my mom wouldn't let me watch Titanic because you want to know why? Not because this is a glimpse into the Mad TV part of it that we just talked about, how I saw Dr. Ruth but didn't watch Mad TV growing up. My mom wouldn't let me watch Titanic because she was afraid that I would be scarred by the dead babies in the water. She didn't care about Paint Me Like One of Your French Girls. She didn't care about Leo and Kate getting it on. No. She was when I finally saw Titanic for the first time, I was like, this is why I wasn't allowed to watch Titanic when all my friends watched Titanic.
Now, all right, so if we're doing that type of thing, I think the 90s Ninja Turtle cartoon would be that for me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if you know this, but at the time, I'm in Germany, so I'm not around very much American anything at all. And we got one cable channel over there on base, only one like English speaking channel. So they try and cram all of the English speaking programming onto it. And I knew like for an hour or so on Saturdays, I could watch the Ninja Turtles. And so I feel like I'd have to ask my parents, but I feel like 4-year-old, 5-year-old CJ, his entire personality was Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael. I think so.
I mean, the Rugrats were my personality for that same period.
Gotcha.
And specifically Angelica Pickles. But I had no one to boss around.
You can't say Angelica.
I had no stupid babies.
You can't say Angelica and not hit me with a cookie.
Cookie. We'll take a break. Maybe we'll draft Snow Things tomorrow.
Okay.
Should we move our draft?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should move our draft.
Yeah, move the draft to tomorrow.
Because it's going to snow tomorrow. Wait, you're not going to? Oh, God.
Yeah, let's move work to tomorrow.
Let's figure this out. We'll figure out what we're doing in the break. It's a surprise.
Move
You'll
the
find
work to
out when we
tomorrow.
come back.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Then, CJ and I during the break were talking about the communal experience of going to the Harry Potter movies with like a big group of friends. Same thing for Dark Knight Rises. My group did it for Transformers, which feels like a weird thing to all come together for. But that was like a moment with the first one with Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. Felt like everyone was building up to that. When I went with a small group of friends to Wicked this year, that was like the closest I have felt to that. Probably since the last Harry Potter movie.
Why is that the first time? Well, or why did you stop going to movies with friends?
I don't know. People get busy.
So we aged out.
Life. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Jessica, check this out. If you ever want to come, I've invited you to be a part of the Marvel movie.
Yeah, but it's different. I'm not talking like a 4-person trip to the movies. I'm talking like 8 to 10 people.
That's the Avengers started off, Jessica, with Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man. Then you get,
we did it for Iron Man too.
Then you get Black Widow, and then you get what's my man with the arrow? Arrow dude. You get the Arrow dude, right?
I love it. Arrow dude's my favorite of the Marvel cast.
It's just 5 of them, and then they grow from that. All I'm saying is you could be the second installment of the Marvel movie mates, and we can just start adding more people so we can get other Jacob and his girl. Yes, we can be the Avengers of the movies. Okay. We've already, and here's the thing about the Avengers as an actual superhero group. You know this, Jessica. You might not know this at home, people. They come and they go, right? You can be an Avenger and then hop back out and do other things, and new Avengers come in. So, like, we can do that where people hop in, because right now, Robbie and his wife, they're like, oh, we can't do movies anymore. We have a baby, man. So, like, there's that. Even though Miss Kim, I'm sure, would love to take the baby for a couple of hours.
He's not a baby. He's like a mini adult at this point.
He's a grown-ass man. He should have a job at the movie theater. Speaking of theater Thursdays.
I saw a video, speaking of a baby. This is so off topic. Mm-hmm. They put the pacifier in queso at a Mexican restaurant.
So the baby can't lick on it.
I want to have a baby so that I can put the pacifier in queso so that my baby can be baptized by queso.
Just like do it to Chris.
Can you, Chrissy? Can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I can too. All right, we're gonna move our things to do in the snow draft to after it snows. We'll see if CJ makes it. If the great buses that be of Memphis
bring
CJ to work tomorrow.
If I do segments, I think it counts as work. So
so now you're gonna call in.
Like I won't have to miss a day.
I don't know if
But
there's enough
seriously.
things to do in the snow for a 3-person draft.
I'm sure we can get creative with it.
I'm
You can
sure
build it.
you will. I told Chris we were drafting things to do in the snow. I was like, go home. He's out home. My God. All right, let's do some Theater Thursdays, some movie news to get into the rest of this day. If you have ever wanted to feel old in 2025, I think this was my first, wow, I'm old moment of the year. 2 castmates from School of Rock got married. This was all over my timeline yesterday. It's Caitlin Hale and Angelo Masagli. Hale was one of the backup singers. You see her there. She had the braided pigtails. And then Masagli played Frankie, who was like the band security. But more importantly, if you can pop that picture back up, Jacob, I've never been able to make this connection before. This kid who played Frankie also played Bobby Jr. in The Sopranos, and I just finally watched all of Sopranos this past year, and if he had just gone to the train store with his dad, like what could have been? But yeah, I can't believe Bobby was also Frankie in School of Rock, and he only had one more acting credit in 2009, and then he never acted again. I find these child actors who have like 2 pretty big roles, multiple big roles, and then just quit acting altogether. He's now a lawyer. He's a lawyer for TikTok. He's a lawyer for TikTok. She's an OBGYN. They got married. They did not have any sort of a childhood relationship. Like they said that they didn't even have a crush on each other back during the School of Rock days. They randomly both ended up in grad school in Florida, and they got coffee, and they thought that was it. And then they just kept seeing each other, and now they're married, and all the other kids came to their wedding too.
Did Jack Black come up?
No, and I'm kind of disappointed in him.
Well, I mean, he might be busy doing Kung Fu Panda stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't his band break up?
Did they?
Yeah, didn't they get in a big
Tenacious
fight?
D?
Didn't Tenacious D get in a big fight about
that-
something political this year?
Oh, I don't know.
Or last year?
I don't know. They got into a fight. The other dude, the other dude said the shooter shouldn't have missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they got in a fight about it.
All right.
So anyway, he had things to do. Who was the other guy? Mr. Schmeagle?
You.
Schmeagle?
Sorry. Never saw the
You've
movie.
never seen School of Rock?
Never seen School of Rock.
It
Not
has
really,
big CJ energy.
Not really interested in School of Rock.
What?
What do you mean big CJ energy?
I don't know. It just seems like a movie that you would have seen, and not just seen, but loved.
They're singing and dancing and in school. I think it's the in-school component that's really cumbersome for me. Like, I don't want to watch movies. As a kid, as a kid, I didn't want to watch movies about school. I go to school every day. I don't want to deal with that.
Ned Schneebly, played by Mike White. Mike White, creator of The White Lotus. I always forget that fun fact. Yeah, so he was busy too.
Okay.
And then Joan Cusack, I think she's always busy. But the kids weren't too busy to come back. I just think it was cool that they all stayed friends. They had a group chat. That's nice.
I mean, this would be like 2 characters from Matilda getting married for me, right? Like that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Except for Miranda Crossgrove wasn't there either. She played like the man. Miranda, she's big. That sounded very like Larry David-y. She was iCarly.
Okay.
Miranda Crossgrove.
Okay.
She was like the most famous of the kids. Of all the kids, she became something. And they became things. They became important things. She became like an actress, a notable
Didn't
actress.
watch iCarly either. I had phased
I didn't
out.
either.
Okay.
She was also a voice in Despicable Me.
Okay, now
She's the
here
voice of
we
Margot.
go. Here we go.
There you go.
Is Marlo the oldest or the middle?
Margot. I think she's the oldest.
Okay,
if
yeah.
I remember
Now I
correctly.
know exactly who you're talking about. I'm here from
Anyway,
Despicable Me.
Congrats to the children who
Shout
are now
out to
adults
Gru.
getting married. Speaking of relationship news, this happened. January 6th is a day that will live in infamy. 1, because it's when we finally found out that Zendaya and Tom Holland were officially engaged. But 2, we found out that Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster are indeed in a relationship. And when I saw this, I said, man, this feels like some big Broadway history lore that feels necessary to share with the class, AKA CJ. Because CJ, you know Hugh Jackman.
That's Wolverine.
You're well familiar with Hugh Jackman.
Wolverine.
That's Wolverine. Do you know who Sutton Foster is?
No.
Sutton Foster is a big musical theater queen, but she crossed over into more known pop culture. She was on a show called Younger with Hilary Duff, who I know you know who Hilary Duff is. I know you're well aware.
Hilary Duff, oh my goodness. Okay, go
Have you had your moment? Okay. They were on a show called Younger together. I like Sutton Foster. It's not really cool to be a Sutton Foster fan for some sad reason, but she was in one of the first shows that I ever loved on Broadway called Thoroughly Modern Millie. Anywho, she and Hugh Jackman met or worked together doing The Music Man on Broadway a few years ago. And I will never forget leaving that show. And Chris asked me, are those two dating? And I said, no, they're both married to other people. And he said, their chemistry is off the charts. And it was. Like they felt like they were a real relationship.
I feel
said
like
it at
you
the
said
time.
that about
I hate
this.
that show.
Yeah.
I hate The Music Man. I'm a Music Man hater. You got trouble right here in River City? No, the show stinks. 76 trombones, nobody wants to buy 76 trombones. Like, what are we doing here? That said, moved on from it. Oddly enough, Hugh Jackman divorces his wife this year. Sutton Foster gets a divorce from her second husband this year. People start wondering, is it because they have something going on? And now it is. They had a full-on paparazzi shoot that gets published in People magazine, but this goes back even further. This is where it gets interesting. This is a full circle moment. So they obviously met, fell in love at the Music Man.
Is it Music Man or The Music Man?
The Music Man.
The Music Man, okay.
Sutton Foster, her first husband, she's been married twice. So not the man that she just got a divorce from to now date Hugh Jackman. Her first husband, Christian Borle, another Broadway actor. They're married. Christian Borle, allegedly, reportedly, has never been proven, cheated on Sutton Foster with his co-star in Legally Blonde, the musical, Laura Bell Bundy. So now, after she, once upon a time, had her relationship ruined by a showmance, as we call it, a show romance, now Sutton Foster has done the same thing. And I think that's dirty.
We don't call it a showmance, do
Yes, we do.
Is that what it's called for real?
In the theater.
In the theater.
If you spell theater with an R-E instead of an E-R, you call it a showmance.
It's a showmance.
Showmance.
Okay.
So there you go. Now you know.
So
people are mad.
She Angelina Jolie this shit. Right? Isn't that what Angelina did to Brad Pitt? Brad
Yeah,
Pitt
and
is
Mr. and Mrs.
with
Smith.
Aniston
That was a
and
showmance.
Even in movies, we have
I don't
showmances.
think we can extend it to.
No, because movies are spelled with the ER, not the RE.
Yeah. That's just a movie
that hard
theater,
ER stuff.
not a movie
we don't
theater.
rock with that. The
Anyway,
theater.
I saw this and I was like, that's enough. That's enough of a tantalizing tale that I
So
would
where do they
share
go
it
from here?
in theater Thursday.
What's the deal?
I don't know. Now they're holding hands in People magazine.
Okay. Are they going to continue to
Hugh Jackman had
work together?
that wife for a long time. They were married for a long time.
Were they?
They were married and she was older than him, because that was always the story. They were married from 1996 to 2023.
He just got divorced.
Yes, I'm telling you, these divorces both happened right after The Music Man closed. Wow. Like, they didn't even really make a good, but they've now waited a significant amount of time.
Wow.
And his wife she's 69, he's 54. So it's not even that big. God, it used to be, because he was young in his 30s and she was in her 50s. I remember when they first were married, and it was like, oh, Hugh Jackman's with an older lady.
So okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When's the next Wolverine project coming out?
I hope they're done with that, but who knows?
They're never done with it.
Yeah.
Is he in Wolverine mode or is he in musical mode? I don't know. Right now he's in love mode.
He's got to be in musical mode, because whenever the next Wolverine comes out, it'll have to be after Marvel does this next phase that they're in. You can't keep leaning on Hugh Jackman to save your sorry ass.
Okay.
You got to come up with other stories. So yeah, I would think the next Wolverine, anything to do with, and I hope Hugh Jackman is done, but if he gets to do it with Ryan Reynolds and they get more Deadpool
Ryan
content
Reynolds
out of it.
needs positive PR right now.
Why?
That whole, I can't even go through it.
But,
The whole lawsuit situation with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and it ends with us, has more layers
'Cause
than I am comfortable talking. He countersued.
Okay.
He's ready to take this thing to trial. His lawyer was on, I don't watch this show, but a clip popped up on the Megyn Kelly show, and he said that he was going to sue Blake Lively into oblivion.
Let's do it.
And he had one of those evil rich people laughs with it. He's like, sue her. I was like, wow. You scare. I don't even know what you have behind your curtain, but you scare me. There's a lot going on.
Okay.
It sounds like I haven't done the full research on it, so I don't want to be inappropriate. I've just learned. I'll just wait for some of these
Just
things.
wait. You don't
but
have
it
to
does
have- you
weird
don't
me
have
out.
to-
My instincts, my spidey senses, because he's using Johnny Depp's lawyers. I don't love that. It's not like I'm an Amber Heard stan over here, but I just thought that whole case, watching the documentary on it, just all of it situated itself in a gross, it's very easy to take down a woman because people hate women. And I don't even really, I don't care about these people anyway.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I mean, she took a crap in his bed and chopped off his toe, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
he also
that's
hit
just
her.
That's an exceptional situation. We don't
Sure.
move that over.
But that lawyer did such a good job
yeah.
of turning the public response to that trial in favor of Johnny Depp. And now every bit of news I see on this now, I'm like, pause. Is this how it actually is? Anyway, saw 2 movies last weekend. You've seen some movies recently too, haven't you?
Yeah.
What have you watched?
I watched Night Bitch. What?
It's just a funny name.
It is. I watched
It
that.
popped up. We turned on Hulu the other day. We're catching up on Abbott Elementary now.
Okay.
We're so far behind. But Night Bitch popped up, and Chris was like, "What's that?" I said, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, I watched it. Nice messaging. It's a movie with a message. So if you're down to watch movies with messages, watch it. I thought it would be a bit funnier than what it was. It wasn't. It follows, just to set the scene, it follows a woman who has given birth. The baby is now toddler age, and so it talks about like being a mom and what she having had a career and then deciding in the moment to give the career up for the child, and then how that sort of affects you as a mom. Not as a mom, because that's the point of the movie. Like, this woman is a woman who is also a mother, and how being a mom sometimes takes that individuality away from you.
But is she also a dog?
I watched the movie. It's to me, it was
I DNF'd the book.
You what?
Did not finish the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like, it's to me, fine, whatever. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I wanted to enjoy it, or as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it. My wife loved it, so that might tell you who needs to be watching these sorts of things.
Okay.
What else did I watch? You asked me, and I feel like we talked about it last week. And so once I watch this stuff, I hold on to it until the show when I need to vomit the information. I vomit the information, I forget, and now I've forgotten everything that I watched over the break. But I watched more than a handful of movies and stand-up specials. The chick from Babes, what's their
Alana.
name? She has
or the other.
Both of them. Michelle something or another was the one I was thinking of.
Baruto?
So Alana has a stand-up special on Hulu.
I just typed IMDb boobs instead of
I can't wait for the HR to come up here and take that away from you. So
My bad.
Alana has a great stand-up on
Michelle
Hulu.
Buteau.
On Hulu, and that's really, really good. It talks about, she's hilarious to me, so I found that funny.
Yeah.
Michelle has one on Netflix. I'm a big fan of hers as well. That one was really funny. Both of them have a unique insight on life. I don't want to say unique. It's an insight coming from a female perspective, from a female space. And for me being not of that space, no matter how open-minded I want to be, I cannot be a woman, and I cannot walk through this life the way that the females do.
Thank you.
So to hear them share some of their experiences as women is always funny to me. So those two stand-ups are really, really good.
I talked about a little bit with Gary earlier. I did see Nosferatu last weekend, and I really liked it. Like, it's just the right amount of scary. It's kind of grotesque at certain points, but Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok, which is Nosferatu, is really good. Like, he plays a good monster, because he's now been Pennywise in the It movies and Nosferatu. And Chris sent me the funniest tweet earlier, which was like, imagine Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu saying, like, what is your wife's Instagram? And it'd be like, what is your wife's Instagram? And that's how I listen to people. Between Colin Farrell's accent in The Penguin and Bill Skarsgård's accent as Nosferatu, that's how I'm reading most things these days, which is a very fun bit.
I have no concept of Nosferatu. I don't
Dracula.
I don't know anything.
It's
I don't
very
want to know.
Dracula-esque.
I don't want to know. I know it's a vampire.
Are you gonna
type
see
thing.
it?
Yeah, when it comes to
I think
streaming,
you'd
I'll
like
watch it. I think I will too. That's why I don't want to know anything about it. I will ask you though, because I saw this creep across my social media in a post. The dude doesn't sign his wife away in a language he can't read or understand.
Sure does.
What a jackass!
But he doesn't know he's signing his wife away. He thinks he's
You can't
he thinks
read-
he's doing some real estate.
You can't read the language.
He's an idiot.
Yes.
He's literally an idiot.
You can't do that.
No, but he does. And that doesn't really
what a
give it
moron.
away. And then the rest of the time, he's like, stop wanting my wife. I'm like, you signed,
You
buddy.
signed the paper.
You messed up.
Also, the thought of vampires being this much of a stickler for the legal process
is kind of sweet.
It's hilarious to me.
There was some movie that was recommended to us this week that I added to my must-watch. It's called Humanist Vampire Seeking Consensual Suicidal Person. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Just alone, I'm watching it. Like, I think that's such a clever, but you're right. Vampires are very into consent, which is nice. Maybe we could all learn something from vampires.
Whoa, wait. I'm not sure how.
Well, I guess in this
consent
case,
they
he tried to
are.
trick him because it's a language you don't understand.
Yeah, you can't trick people and then be
and
like,
yeah,
it's consent.
Nosferatu is like coming in and just.
Yeah.
It also has very interesting, just like a sub-story of the plague.
Oh, turn up.
Which is fascinating as we
just lived through one.
Yeah, might have another one with bird flu on the horizon, but how people respond to the plague. Between that and A Complete Unknown, which is the Bob Dylan movie, I liked A Complete Unknown. I've heard a lot of friends say it feels like a chore to go out and watch it, and I get that. Chris did not care for it at all. He thought Timothy Chalamet did a good Dylan, but other than that, just kind of lacked drama, and I totally get that. Like if you don't at least like Bob Dylan's catalog, I don't think there's a reason for you to go see A Complete Unknown. But yeah, I gotta watch a lot of movies. I got a lot of movies on the list, but it's not gonna happen right now. Because we've got college football playoff semifinal tonight, college football playoff semifinal tomorrow, wild card weekend, Grizzlies Rockets tonight, Grizzlies Timberwolves over the weekend. I'm busy.
Gotta play in the snow.
Gotta play in the
Gotta
snow.
make time to play in the snow.
Maybe you'll see CJ tomorrow.
You won't.
Probably not.
You won't.
But you'll see me. I'll be here. The perks of a quick.
Living downtown.
I talk about it all the time. I love living downtown.
You can offer up your house and let me stay at
You
your
want to stay in the loft?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight at Grizzlies Rockets. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it, wrap up the week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
I'll never go. I just want to be invited. Isn't that what Fall Out Boy said?
Yeah.